Hi. I wanted to take a minute to introduce myself just a little bit more. My name is Michelle Sweeny, and I have been playing the piano ever since I was 5 years old. I took my first Suzuki piano lessons as a very young child, and I have loved music my whole life. When I was a teenager, I had the opportunity to study at the New England Conservatory preparatory school, and I got to go to Boston each Saturday and take music theory and choir and have private lessons and group classes, and it was an amazing opportunity to learn what it really meant to be a musician. After the experience at NEC, I applied for several colleges and I went to Indiana University and studied music there. I got a degree from Indiana University, which is now known as the Jacobs School of Music. And I studied piano performance there. Let me tell you what that means. That means that I practiced 5 hours a day on the piano. That means that I practiced 6 days a week on the piano, and it was a total of 30 hours each week that I would spend sitting at my keyboard and refining the pieces that I was working on. I would typically have about 4 or 5 major works of music in my lessons, and each time I took a piano lesson, it would be one of those. So I would probably about once a month work on my Beethoven sonata, one movement, a single movement, for an entire hour. And then once a month, I would work on a Bach prelude and fugue. Usually in my lessons, there was just time for one movement of one piece. Because we refined it so meticulously and we honed in on the smallest details, and she gave me so much to work on that I could practice for 5 hours a day, 6 days a week over the long term. So most of the work that I spent learning was in the practice room, and I would take each piece to my teacher, maybe once a month, and then I would work on it and work on it and work on it and then take it to her again, and she would just give me more and more layers to add on to each piece, and I would prepare for juries and recitals and performances. We would do a group piano masterclass where all of the students in my teacher's studio would play for each other every Friday night. So whenever I had a piece that was polished, memorized, and ready to perform, I would play that for my peers and they would give feedback. My teacher would give a lesson to me in front of all of my fellow students, and it would give me the opportunity to polish and learn something. So that's kind of what the piano study is like. Studying for so many hours, and I practiced 5 hours a day. I had colleagues that would practice 8 hours a day. It was very, very serious, and we spent so much time in the practice buildings and really, really worked hard. And why did we need so much time? Because we were learning so much music. I would be working on a program of about an hour's worth of music at a time. So those 4 pieces, each one of them would maybe be about 15 minutes long. So I would be studying for a full hour's worth of music that needed to be completely perfect, completely memorized, and ready to perform at the end of the study of these pieces. So for me, the learning process was a little bit slower than some. I did need a lot of time to get a piece perfected and memorized. Some of my friends who grew up with the Suzuki method could just memorize a piece like instantly, and that is something I really envy and is quite amazing. I did start with the Suzuki method, but I didn't grow up as a Suzuki kid. So I did about a year of Suzuki lessons as a young child and got a really great foundation in book 1. And then after that, I just kind of learned music with a teacher, but I didn't really have that particular focus of Suzuki lessons. And so when I went to take my Suzuki training, I knew it was amazing because I had started with it, and I knew it was the way I wanted to become trained so that I could use the method. But it wasn't until I took the training that I understood how truly amazing the Suzuki method is. I really love the way it teaches young children to be true musicians from the very beginning. It's a wonderful method. So after I got my degree in piano performance, I taught music as a private piano teacher for quite a few years. And then when my kids got into school, in elementary school, their music teacher, she had to quit. And anyway, the job sort of fell in my lap. And so with a piano performance degree, I jumped right into elementary music education. And I taught music at a small charter Montessori school for several years. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved the children. I loved explaining things in a way that they could understand. And I taught them music theory and all sorts of musical skills. We learned ukulele and how to play basic things on the piano. We sang and danced a lot. And it was truly a joy in my career to teach music at the Montessori school. I loved my time there. I also spent some time teaching children in Chicago, helping them put on a musical. And that was a great thing I did for 4 or 5 years in the summer. Let's see. I taught piano at the Suzuki Academy after I got my teacher training, and that was an amazing experience to work with other teachers who taught violin and harp and cello and just be part of a faculty at a small music school, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So that's a little bit about me, my history, my education, and my career as a musician and a piano teacher. And I just wanted you to know a little bit more about where I learned to play the piano and how I got to be the musician that I am today. I hope that your journey takes you to be able to play beautiful music. And I hope that as you study and work hard and practice, that you will learn to love music, that you will learn to listen and produce refined, quality, excellent sound as you play. And I hope that I can help you along that journey. Please share your journey with me. Interact with me through the comments of my lessons and tell me what you're working on, what you'd like help with. I would really like to teach you as much as you'd like to know at the level that you're at. Let me know what your age is, what your interests are, and I will try and help you as a piano teacher to reach your goals. Thank you for joining my channel, for subscribing and listening to my piano lessons. I hope that you're able to learn and that you have a wonderful musical journey. See you at the next piano lesson.